All right, yeah, let's close this down. Oh, let's see. Skiatch, it's server side actually, yeah. Oh, I did get, also forgot to mention, I did get Hangor, some of those changes in Hangor we were talking about. I got those done as well. I think I'm in AVP right now. And then I ended up doing a pass on the AVP more broadly. Again, just trying to address some of those really out of control hotspots and just kind of, you know, get everything to cohese a little better. So we'll take a look here at some of that, see where I am. All right. Oh, I'm still in Throne Fast though. Let's see. Make sure everything's reloaded. Been trying to update some of the NPCs as I go through as well to more kind of the current models. Some of them we're still using the some versions of our models from like the very, I think like the models that we had right after we did the art change. So still brown. Yeah, some things are. Some things are. No, he's not in the bush anymore. Do you know why? Because he's right there. So one of the things that I've been playing with is incorporating more like interesting and appropriate idle animations for NPCs, depending on what they're doing or what's going on. And so as I've been going through, been looking to see like what we've got that can fit the NPC in the situation well. I'm pretty, yeah, you know? So it's like, okay, you know, and I mean, obviously you guys have been saying this for a long time. We need this to permeate, right? This is what needs to permeate. Let's take a look at a couple of other things. So in addition to what I was just talking about with the idle animations and, you know, making them more, and I'll read some of these out loud because I know some of you aren't actively watching, you're just listening. So sorry about that. I was just reading through silently few slides of text there. Need to remember not all of you are actively watching right now. But yeah, I've found, and I think you guys will also agree, that the animations do a lot. And I'm glad as we're getting the pulse stuff hooked back up to start leveraging that again. Because that's, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. Let's see. I always have trouble finding this dude. And I didn't that time either. That's okay. I think he's on this, one of these. Let's see. That's one thing about going on dev, though, is it's like we're gonna be getting a lot of patches. Yeah, here he is. He's just chilling. Oh yeah, I am a shaman, by the way, so that's something that he's only gonna say to shaman. Let me see if I can get over to the area real quick. I'm really pleased with this area. I don't know if we'll make it in time, though. So now it's like, if you guys have ever wondered, like, what's going on here? Well, what's going on here is you have enchanters training their charm magic, basically. Guide the golem with your tone as much as your words, Mr. Fledge. It will manifest your certainty. Boren looks as if he could collapse at any moment. Distrobles ignores your presence. See, I've already tested this, so it's not giving me all the initial dialogue and everything, so. Oh, I want to check on one more, actually. See if this one worked. This is so fun, though, guys. Like, it's been a lot of fun. Lot of fun. All right. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's working. We'll just leave it at that. But anyway, hopefully the point is made. Like, as these things start trickling in, I think the really the reputation that we wanted for Pantheon from the beginning, I mean, the whole idea of the perception system, all of this talk and time, you know, kind of planning out and incorporating these tools and various things, it's unfortunate that it's been absent like this for as long as it has, especially since EA started, but it'll it's coming back. It's coming back strong. Now, I do need to get on this other call. It is starting now. This is a good time. That's perfect timing, actually. So, yeah, I think I was gonna get a game of EQ Guesser going, but I don't know if that makes much sense because yo, we did it. We did it. Just a couple of quick little housekeeping things. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, we did it. We did it. Welcome. So to those of you who joined, I apologize for being on a call when you came in. I didn't want to reschedule the stream, so this meeting ended up getting moved to that time frame. And so for better or for worse, decided to just do it while we're here. And so we did. And now we're done. And now I'm just kind of getting everything resituated. Okay. There's that. And that. Cool. So yeah, if you're just joining, what we did to start off with is we spent some time going over some of the progress on the work we started last stream, where we were going through, addressing all of the well-met travelers and really starting to build back in what, part of what we want Pantheon to really be known for, which is, immersive game, immersive world, deep lore, leveraging a lot of the tools that we've built to create those authentic world-setting, context-building interactions. We've been doing that largely in Thronefast. I think what we'll do next, let's do this next. Let's go into, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. We might have to just eat the performance of doing it in the editor. I feel like if we keep trying to do it in the dev client with all the patches that are constantly rolling in, it's just going to be getting booted out a bunch. So why does water sometimes not appear in Thronefast? Is it my PC server side, or is this area prone to tsunamis? That's just a wrinkle. It's a wrinkle in the new water system that we just need to fix it. Nothing on your end. It happens to everybody. Happens to us all. Yo, Steve Fence, thank you so much for the tier 1, my friend, and the 10 months of support. Snickerdoodle with the Prime and the 4 months. Thank you so much, Snickerdoodle. Otaladab with the tier 1 and the 15 months, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate that, guys. What POI or area from the next continent are you most excited to see finished? Well, how do I tell you without telling you? How do I tell you without telling you? Can I, let's see. What can I say? Hold on. I want to see if there's any public information out there about this place. What do we want to say? I'll tell you the name. Actually, let me back up because I misread what you asked. You asked about the next continent, not the next area. So I was thinking in terms of Body of Dakara, but you were talking about the next continent. Okay. Okay. Well, let's try this again. The next continent. I mean, honestly, I think Broken Maw is going to be pretty awesome. So I would definitely put that in the running. I would definitely put Broken Maw in the running. Need to hide my screen real quick. Hold on. Broken Maw for sure. I'm really excited about Valley of the Watchmen in some ways because, and one of the things that I'm excited about with that area is like what the perimeter of that zone is and what we need to be able to visualize. So if you look at the map, if you look at the old map, it's an old map, but it's still a relevant one. If you look at that map, you'll see that there's a volcano. And that volcano, the lowland of that volcano kind of rolls right into Valley of the Watchmen. And I'm really interested about how we're going to pull off areas like that as we get to them, where you're meant to see something really, kind of interesting and imposing on the horizon in the distance. That then needs to kind of transition into like being a legitimate place that you're in, I'm excited about that tech wise. Like, I think it's gonna be really cool when we can pull that off. Honestly, I'm also excited about the sanctums and getting the sanctums as these kind of like vestigial time capsules of some of the most important moments in Terminus's history. I think it's gonna be really cool to make those. So like the Burning Sanctum on the new continent, it's gonna be really cool. So that's kind of off the cuff. Mm-hmm. Come on now, Unity. Being so slow today. So slow today. How you guys feeling about Nightfall Crypt? Oh, Cogasands, yeah. You know what? I wasn't even thinking about Cogasands. Yeah. Yeah. There's actually one place, and the lore may have there might be some lore somewhere that actually like, or some of you might know what I'm talking about, but there's a place between and kind of part of the connection between Cogasands and the Whispering Lands that I'm trying to think of, like what to even compare it to. But that's gonna be a really sick place to build and to see in game. But yeah, getting a desert in, that's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. Okay, Unity, are you ready now? Can we actually do this thing? Maybe? Dude, it is running so slow. Do we know when we're going to start getting new races? That's one of those things that, yes, we do know, but we haven't shared that yet. So therefore, it is not something that I can discuss. Paladin toggle still seems buggy. Yeah, the auras are still really buggy. Fair enough. All right, Let me get my audio flowing. I do know that as well, Finn. Yes, I do. I do. Who said LDON? I didn't say LDON. Let's go to AVP and just take a look at some of the tweaks in there. All right, so we got we should have braziers covered. We should have braziers covered. Let's go take a look in Dimmoth first. We'll start there. Yo, Chief, thank you for the tier 1 and the 12 months of support. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that big time. Thank you, thank you. Where are my YouTube friends at? I gotta get this, here we go. Yo, I'm slacking, guys. Forgive me. Super Trash, good to see you. Carrick, welcome. James Denny, Alberto, Slow Clap, Tolmart, McWarren, Bruticus Maximus, Thet, Lucifer, Eric, Zalaf, Flange, Hexnotic. Welcome to you all. Why did we nerf your ability to be tiny? Because we just don't like giving you guys good things. You know what I mean? We don't like giving you good, fun things. So we had to take the tiny away. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yo, Sethier. What? Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you. I was told that my sound effects were quiet. So I don't know if it has the same impact. If you feel like the sound effects are quiet, then let me know. Confirm that. And for next stream, I'll see if I can balance them a little bit better. But seriously, thank you so much. That is awesome. Cool. Good. Hey, Tubidin. There wasn't a whole lot here. Like, most of the lighting was reasonable. The street lights. Dude, the chug and the engine chug. Where there were, you know, braziers to be added, we added those. Got a little brazier up here. Let me actually check. Did a little bit of some like texture work up here just to kind of get the grass and stuff out of this little building. So just little things, Another one that I wanted to check. Let's see. I made a little tweak to Gloom around these ruins, because with all the lighting changes, it was really starting to throw the lighting into just a bad place. Like, it was just really unpleasant. It, you know, went from what it was when it was like dialed in to then, just like we were seeing in Hangor the other day, where it had like a yellowish kind of color and it was different. I was finding that these Gloom lighting volumes were just really being impacted pretty heavily from some of the recent changes. So I tweaked it a little bit to kind of move it closer to where we want it to be longer term, which is less about like a really strong color and more about almost like a it's more appropriate that it actually like kind of desaturates color and kind of set the stage for some of that fogginess and whatnot. So you guys can tell me what you think as we run into the volume here. And then at nighttime. So from a distance, it still has that nice like presence. And again, like it needs its ground cover fog. It needs some of that kind of like Lost Woods, soupy, incensey type fog. But it definitely gives it a very unique feel and vibe, which I like. It's also to make it the weather clear. Let's see what that does to it. Spooky. What, no brown? I know. We need, well, the color actually needs to shift to brown instead of desaturated, right? Just, yeah. All right, so clear. Yeah. Cool. I also just love that effect of that gradual like desaturation of color. I just think it's a really cool feeling. The same issue was happening with the dragon pool with the lighting. So made just a few tweaks to that as well to kind of get it back in line. So I want to check that as well. Yeah, I changed the material on the dragon as well to help kind of, because before it was like literally the same texture as the rock, so which was cool in the sense that it made it look like it was carved out of the rock, but it's not actually carved out of the rock. So this definitely helps, you know, get the point across a little bit of what it is. Let's check. Let's go check Hangor. I want to see one thing real quick. Okay. We'll check Hangor, and then we'll check the little orc highway area, and then we'll dive into some more work. We got to figure out what's going on with the rocks in this area. The rocks that I plummeted to my death on last time. I looked at those, and I looked at them, and I looked, and I looked, and I could not find anything specifically that would be causing that. So, yeah, see? Like, is it this whole stretch? Actually, you know what? I may know what's causing this now that I think about it. That's pretty much exactly what I just did right there. All right. All right, so let's check out our fires. So we got our fires burning now. Little bit more, like they're throwing good light, but they're a little bit softer. You know, they're not. So we're working on those quasars, right? I think PBL is going to need to come through and make sure they've grabbed all of these bonfires. Get a nice warm roar. I also did a very, very, very small pass on the arena up here to kind of like let's do this. Just kind of like, I don't know. After playing in here the other day, there were just a few little things in the arena that I wanted to tweak, and you'll see what I mean. Because it's a cool camp spot, you know? It's a cool camp spot. Yeah. So we got the single banner in here now. This is nothing compared to the, you know, all the banners inside of the Usharuk's hut. But you've got a little bit of like some walking dirt from the path that he's walking. You've got the 3 campfires. I noticed that my barrels are not showing up, so I need to check on that. But I added a couple of barrels in. But it just feels a little bit more like a camp spot now, you know? Just a small thing. But I'm pretty happy with the lighting in here now. Like, I feel like it's got... I don't know, it just feels a little more atmospheric, maybe, in a way. Like, I think it was some good changes. So, need a bedroll in that room? I don't know. Maybe the orcs just sleep, you know, face first in a starfish position right in the snow, you know? Who knows? Are we only seeing beige during the day? You mean that like yellowish tint or whatever? Let me actually ask Kyle about that real quick. About shadows. Because I agree. And I feel like I remember him saying something about how we gained some bandwidth to add those in. Because, I mean, we can just look at it real quick, what it would look like. Let's take a look. If I can get a hold of Kyle, I'll Hey Joppa, why doesn't the grass come to the cliff's edge around Thrown Fast and AVP? Was always curious about that one. You'll have to show me what you mean once I'm back around that area. Sorry for anyone triggered by the sound. Hey bro, quick question. Was curious about being able to cast shadows on like our bonfire lights inside of Hangord. Are we at a point where we can have some shadow casting lights like that? Oh, so if I'm doing any work in like AVP and working in Hangor, I mean, is it okay to turn shadows back on for those bonfire lights, or do you want me to hold off? Oh yeah, yeah. Can you explain the difference? Hmm. Right, right, right. Okay. So are shadows turned off globally right now? Okay. But would you expect, like, if I'm in the editor, um, and I'm just looking at the inspector on a specific point light, random point light, and shadows are enabled, but I'm not seeing it throwing shadows. I'm just wondering if there's like a setting in the editor. Yeah, in the editor. Mm-hmm. Yawn. Is it yawn or yan? Why do I always say yan? It's yawn. Or maybe you say it wrong. Oh, yan. Yan yan. I'm streaming right now, by the way. I'm they can't hear what you're saying, but I'm talking to you on my phone so that it's not coming through chat. So they're watching and listening me talk to you. But yeah, I was coming. I made some tweaks to the lighting in Hangor, and you know, there's a lot of people who've been around long enough to remember when we used to have a lot of shadow casting, and it looked great. So. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if we can Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So, well, did you say something about there being like a hotkey or something that would actually toggle on to view it in the editor? Okay. No, Nimlade, you're not wrong. There's a lot of like. It's funny I'm saying this while I'm on a call with Kyle because he's he's harped on this and made a point of this a lot. But we have a lot of very inefficient collision, a lot of like overly abundant use of individual colliders in various places that we can absolutely and need to cut down on. In general, we want to just simplify collision as much as we can, like even if it means there's some clipping and it's not perfectly represented because you know you just don't really see that anyway in most games, and it's gonna help keep players from getting like stuck on things as much as they currently do, and just make it a lot better overall. So yeah. For those of you wondering what the answer is, what Kyle shared with me is that he's actually right now working on um, some some updates that once we merge in, which should be sometime this week based on what he's seeing on his end. All of the previously shadow casting lights will be back to shadow casting again. So at that point, then we'll be able to kind of go in and look dev everything, and make sure like bonfires, torches, things like that. I mean, we have to be mindful of how many things are doing that. But if it's like wall sconces, bonfires, campfires, things like that, then we should be good. So I can also, Kyle's seeing if there's a way that we can toggle these on so we can view them in the editor. And while he's doing that, let's see, something's up with these because no. I wonder. I mean, I should probably just like. I think that's the first one right there. Oh, you know what it is? That's what it is. These are like hard set to only have their LOD2 rendering, so that's why there's no collision. We can fix that right now. It just clicked. Just clicked. Kyle, they're trying to decide. Well, I shouldn't say they. Burgomeister's trying to decide if you are just an AI voice or if you're real. That's a good question. We should all be asking ourselves that question. Yeah, exactly. You just never know. Okay, so then not from lights. Mm-hmm. can I give you the name of the prefab to look at? Just look at a specific one. Check out the orc underscore campfire underscore no snow underscore no base. There's 2 point lights in there. I mean, we just need one that's actually casting shadows, but I'm not seeing it from either. No base. Have you pulled? Yeah, I mean, it's new as of last. Can you just check yeah, check that one. Just check that one for me. I just want to make sure that it's actually shadow casting on your end. Mm-hmm. Let me check. Yeah. Oh wait, why? Oh, cause it's disabled during the daytime, of course. Yeah. But like, and some of it might come down to us having like we don't have like a good Flickr script anymore, and so like I know that is definitely affecting. Um, it works, but it's more like just a very slow pulse. It's not like a true flicker. Okay, yeah, so we're getting some shadow there, but it's very like, yeah. Which, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, the fact that we're not, I think a lot of it has to do with the lack of the flicker, because that's really what makes it, feel like the flame is dancing and, and the shadows kind of throwing around, Yeah. But like our flicker, we have a light flicker, but it's like, it just gets like stroby. Okay. It's also doesn't seem to be responding at all, at least not in real time. The Flickr script might have to be in like game view or something. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. I think that's everything, man. But that's super exciting news. It's really exciting news. So keep me posted, because I'll want to like look dev a lot of that once you get it merged. Yeah. No, you're good. Had to mute that last part. It's getting a little juicy. Okay, let's try this. Nope. Let's do it here, huh? But yeah, that's really good news, guys. Like, that means here soon that we're going to get our shadow casting back, and yeah, I mean, it's going to make a huge difference. I'm really excited about that. Okay. Is the player casting shadows? Yeah. So that must mean these lights. So set as the default rendering layer. So that's correct. Entity. Oh, well now it's okay. No, I don't feel like that's really doing a whole lot unless it's all the way up. Medium. Yeah, and there's like no change at all. Interesting. Okay, well. So yeah, this Flickr script. This thing is, it just, from what I remember anyway, it almost is just like a strobe. So you set the base brightness, the amplitude, phase. See, it's like, it doesn't do any of that like randomization. We used to have a really nice Flickr script, and yeah, we're gonna need a programmer to bust a new one out so we can get that going again. All right. All right. My eyes. Ooh, you know what that reminds me of though? I have been wanting to fix Flare's light for a long time. So we're gonna do that really quick while I'm thinking about it. Sorry, I'm on a lighting tear right now. Just want to kind of grab all the worst offenders. So let's actually do it like this. There it is. Woo! Okay. Let's go into a cave environment. There we go. Watch your eyes. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. You know what though? I want to do this in a normal cave volume. A normal cave volume. Oof. Okay. Okay, so we need this to be like... No, we were probably right before. Because we want it to have some heat right there, but it needs like... Good range. Tritium flare. No flashbang assault anymore? I mean... Definitely want it to have that good hotspot, but like... Okay. It's at least better than it was, yeah? It's like if we go back out, that's what it was before. And this would be the new one. So you're getting what you want, which is like good light throw, good nameplate visibility. You're maintaining that like the hot spot of it, but it's not as like... I think also if we went a little bit like whiter, maybe. So you throw down a flare. Now, is that enough light? I feel like that's almost too bright. Hmm. Well, the flare will be on the ground, so that's the part that is like, I want to make sure that because that's more what it'll be like, which I don't love. Actually, hold on. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me check real quick. So yeah, it's actually elevated slightly, which honestly it could probably come up even higher because it still gets the point across of where it is. What's the mesh though? What is this thing? Is there a visual effect connected to this? No. Rangers confirm. Visual effect with flare. That's what it should be. Never fired one. All right, a couple more quick tweaks here. I don't feel like I'm getting a whole. I'm really not getting anything out of that. Um. We might be able to have it stick to walls and ceilings. We could probably get that to work. Oh, definitely be cool. Okay, so now you can see the light. We've lost the hotspot just a tad, which I'm kind of okay with, because the hotspot really is meant to be reflected. I mean, it's reflected. I mean, it's there, but I just don't want it to be like, you know. Let's go to a. Are we outside of the cave there? Yeah, I think that's the end of it. I think. I don't know. Let's put down a flare. Ah! Oh, yes. Of course. Yes. Cyclic nesting. That's not what anyone would want. Yeah. So probably because shouldn't be doing that inside of prefab mode. All right, let's save that. Okay. So if we dropped a flare down here. Pow. That's got some pretty good light throw. I mean, as far as like, even around these columns, it's definitely, I mean, without it, like you're in pitch black. With it, you can actually kind of make out the fact that there's still a lot more cave here. So, and it doesn't feel harsh when you're near it either. You can rely on the, hold on. I feel like we probably want to bump the flare up just a smidge. Maybe not even that much, just like that. And let's test it on like flat ground. Like a rock. Yeah, I don't think you'll even notice that elevation at all when you're standing next to it. Cool. Okay, let's see if we can resurrect flare here. Let's see. Okay, so we did flare. We fixed these rocks. So these should be load bearing now. Yeah. Just a quick little check, make sure we didn't forget any. Those all look good. You can immediately tell like a rock that's missing or that's set to like a really low LOD because it just has like these super primitive, sharp, jagged edges, which none of these do. So, I think we're good. I think we are good. Let's double check one more time. Triple check, rather. One minute's too low, isn't it? Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, okay. These are all good. Sweet. All right. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, Orc Highway. Didn't do a whole lot over here. You know, then just adjust, like, again, just having the fires burning. And I did do a little bit of work up in here because all these torches, you know, needed their updated actual flames. So we got those. We got the wall sconces. I think the interior of these areas, again, we're going for like not overly harsh. And I think looks good. Yeah. Cool. Added some campfires to the Ratkin area over here just to make it a little bit more kind of like eye-catchy as a POI to check out. Sometimes just adding a little bit of some flame will help, you know? Oh, the AVP Druid Ring. Yeah. I did look at it, and I did try and put a little bit of a mission on it so that at night it like had the tiniest little bit of pop, but it's just, you know. So I added a light to it, gave it a little bit of like some texture, but like it needs to be redone. It needs to be redone, but at least it has a little bit of a vibe now, kind of more what it's intended to have. So there's that. The Orc Caves. Oh, Skiatch, yeah. That's a good thought. We might... I'll talk to Cody about it and see if we want to revisit the base color for the flare and make it a little more white so we can go even whiter and maybe have a little bit of bluish in there, something like that. We'll see. Definitely colors further away from the warm, you know, orangey brown, yellow range would be good to have more of those. Cool. Okay. Let's save that, and then we'll head back over to Thronefest. Thronefest. Zith. It will. It does. It should, and it will. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, Mike. We definitely need customization features. Those are coming, for sure. Yeah, Flange, I wish I understood better what you were asking there about the grass coming to the cliff's edge. Do you mean like the actual bladed grass, or are you talking about like just the texture, the grass texture? There is Dugbug, yes. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Good. Yeah, I think we might be chilling now. Okay. Then let's... No, it doesn't have a fall off setting. The reason is because we need to extend... Well, we either need to extend some of the fog that's doing its work down below, where you've got like a lot of scattering and volumetrics going on, and we don't have a whole lot of that going on up there, and so it gives the appearance that the lighting is harsher and it's brighter, and it lacks some of the softness that you have down in this area down here. So yep. All right, let's see where we let off. Oh, the caves in the Orc Highway, yeah. I know. I was talking to Convo about that the other day, that I'm really eager to get those back in. Or not to get them back in, to like actually finish those out, because you guys didn't... I don't think you've seen yet kind of the layout that I did inside or anything to know kind of like, I mean, it's a pretty sizable little area in there. It'd be really cool to have that. Get some named NPCs in there and have it be a nice little kind of mini dungeon area. It'd be cool. I wasn't here earlier when the new Nightfall Crypts were announced, but I just wanted to say, as a dad with limited playtime and someone who prefers crawling to camping, I'm a huge fan. Can't wait. Nice. Yeah. Glad to hear that, Dougbug. Yep. I am hoping it will be that kind of like welcome site for a lot of people. And we've purposely built it, you know, and the lore and the backstory of all of it is all kind of designed to let it be a place that we can reuse, you know, where we want, with tweaks, and you know, it won't be the same experience in each one or anything. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. Come on, Unity, hurry, load, get with the program. Let's check our list here, see who else we need to work through. Okay. Oh, I know what we can do. I know what we can do. Let me think. Yep. I'm definitely gonna do this. I'm gonna exit out of this. I'm glad I loaded it all in, but I think it'll be better to exit out of it while we do this. We are going to create some actual activity at the dojo with some genuine like instruction and martial arts thing. Okay? Because that place has been bugging me for a long time. A long time. And it's going to be important that every class, everybody that makes their class feels immersed in their class when they take their first steps. And that area has just been a shame for monks. And that's on me. That is on me. So we're gonna fix that right now. All right. So we have our human male monk, but we're gonna do we're gonna make a training version. And with this training version, we want them to be like locked in their combat idol. Because that's all they're doing is they're training. And then we will trigger them at different times to do different moves, but we want them to stay in that training stage or that training form. So we'll do the same for the female. Training. Excellent. Just double check that this is, yep, female. So here we go. Okay. Now, let's find our NPCs. So These are all disciples. Aneo, Delanya, Cullen, and Tafa. Okay. We've got some models here at the ready. Let's do let's actually customize a new NPC here. We want them to be like let's get some lighting in here. No, let's do this. Load login. We'll do the scene, that's fine. We'll do let's put a little point light down. I feel like Bob Ross. I'm gonna put a happy little point light in here. It's not bothering anybody. And let's calm it way down. Way down. So with our basic monks, we don't want, we'll give them like a white headband and no shoulders, just no shoulders at all. We'll actually do, because these are a little more advanced, so we'll do the, we'll give them a little bit of a different situation here. But we'll probably, I think that's fine. We'll probably lose the decorative wrist guards though. Like that. And I mean, we're just gonna probably go bald with this guy. I'm just saying. I think the beard's okay. Joppa Ross. Hey, I'll take that. I'll take it. I'll take that. I'm happy with that. So we'll do, this will be, our first male variant here. Training monk. And then we'll do another one. Slightly different. Oh, wrist guards on this guy. Maybe that's okay. Facial hair. I think we go no facial hair for this one. But give him some hair. Good monk. There's the good. There it is. There it is. That's it. I mean, that's it. We found it. Yeah. What do you guys think about that hair? I think we're gonna go with that hair, huh? I think we'll go with that hair. Let's go blonde. I'm gonna go blonde. Okay. And now let's do our female. We'll do brown hair. That's fine. Just keep her just like that. And then we'll go back to this style. Nope. Nope. That's too good. That's fine. We'll do no wrist. No gloves. Cool. Oh, and then do hair. Red hair. There it is. There it is. Okay. So we got our monks. We've got our new monks. So now we're going to put the new animation, the new animations on them that have the, wait a second, female monk training. Yep. Wait. Hold on, I'm getting discombobulated. These are males, so they both need the male version. Not that one. This one. And then the females. Sweet. And then we want to add these to our models table so that we can grab them out of data. And whoop, there might be some things in there. You know, the truth is, it's actually kind of low key hard to. It's not easy streaming development when there's things that you want to keep like under wraps. It's not always easy. Okay, now let's assign these. Very good. Okay. We're cooking. We are cooking. Cool. All right, let's hop back in. Let's check them out. Check him out. Watch streak reached, entangled with a 10 stream streak. Streak not stopping until entertainers get a stream. Hey. I mean, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me to not do it so you'll keep watching. You know? I don't know, guys. The standing thing's not bad. I don't know how it is for y'all that are watching. Like, if it seems like I'm moving around a bunch. I don't know if that's... I don't know. But, it's not bad. I've been standing for like 2.5 hours. I'm starting to feel it a little bit. Starting to feel it. Okay. Let's check it out. Greetings! Watchguard Redstone. Greetings. And you too. Ayelia. Nothing on my brother. I can't help but think he isn't coming back. Not for a while anyway. Any news on your brother? Greetings, traveler. Okay. Hee hee. Hee hee is yes. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, herein lies what you could call where the majority of game development time goes, which is like, this should work. Why is it not? Let's figure it out. This should work, but it's not. Let's figure it out. so we do not leave loose ends dangling in the wind. Could have been as simple as a save project, you know? It could have been that simple. What I am going to do, however, is I am going to close Unity. And reopen it. Which is the equivalent of, you know, kicking something or smacking something to get it to work again. It's basically the same thing. Basically. I don't know, guys. I think it's time to sit. I think it's time. I'm starting to feel it. It's starting to be like, okay, I want to sit down. So here we go. Bringing the desk down. Bringing it down. Bringing it down. And I need to adjust this. Come on, camera. Guys, the camera's being silly. Well, it is what it is. It's fine for now. I'll fix it later. Okay, I'm sitting. Okay. Wow. All right. Let's run this again. Let's run this again. Yeah, chair's making an appearance. Oh, chair. As a former manager of people, that is also what I spent a lot of time on. This person isn't working. Why aren't they? Let me think. This is very perplexing. Mm-hmm. May need to use the bat phone. May need to. Actual seasons where you'd see snow not just in Hangor type places would really do it for me. Yeah, that'd be sick to be able to do seasons. I mean, we can definitely handle snow. We would definitely need, I mean, when you think about going from like into like autumn and things like that, would be pretty interesting to do. Wait a second. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because I'm already using this method. Elsewhere, and it's working. Like with this NPC, for example, like they are in a steady animation state, which is this one right here. Let me try a thing real quick. Need to hide my screen for a second. Let me try a thing. Let's try a thing. Okay. Oop. It should. I thought about that for a second, whether it had to do with the fact that they didn't have any weapons equipped. They are totally unarmed, but I have animation data in the default, like unarmed animation stuff. So I mean, it literally every possible, combination of armed, unarmed, one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, all that, they're all set to use the same thing. It's definitely it's interesting. It is interesting. I did. I did. Indeed. Okay. Well, okay, let me move this over out of the way now. Okay. We're back. All right, let's try it one more time. If this doesn't work, then we'll move on to the next thing, and then I'll solve it later. Okay. I will solve this later, but rest assured it will be solved. Oh, it will be solved. All right. I've got kind of some deep dives to do here with the monks. Who else is on our list? We definitely got some good work to do at the Corsarian Temple as well. That place needs to feel much more temple-y. Temple-y. Oh, I will solve it. I will absolutely solve it. Absolutely. So, Trius! Trius! Why are you walking in the grass? So, Trius? Why won't you speak to me? It's time to get Sir Trius straightened up. He's gotten a little too big for his britches. Oh, Sir Trius. Un momento. I need to open our sensitive, very sensitive lore documentation here. Okay. Off screen. So Trius. All right, let's start with getting our graph reconnected. Okay, looks like you've got a graph. Let's check this out. Bravely brave Sir Trius. Oh yeah, this was our old, like, if you were a Dire Lord at the time when we set this up, we didn't have Necros, and we didn't have any other evil races either, so it was literally just like the Ogre Dire Lord, and just Dire Lords in general, that were like evil back in the early PA days. But this was the graph that would get you once you got killed, because you would be attacked on sight. Which I've started doing that too, as I've gone through this process, and you guys will see it, next time you play once these changes come in. But if you are a Dire Lord, and in some cases, if you're a Necromancer, or a Dire Lord, and then also sometimes, like, if you're a Dark Myr or a Rogue, or a Dark Myr and Ogre, we haven't turned on the attack yet, so you're not going to get attacked, but you might notice that as you see people talking about the different conversations they're having with various NPCs around Velia, you may not have access to those same conversations. And conversely, you'll have, more conversations with people that you should, like inside of Baradark and places like that. So that's shaping up a little bit as well. So, okay. We don't want to do that. This is an ancient graph, so we're going to be cleaning it up quite a bit. Oh, wait. Okay. Just for, like, posterity, I'm not going to actually delete these. I'm going to remove the timer event, keep these things, because we might want to hook this back up later. All right, so we want... Let's see, what do we got on Sir Trius? Sir Trius. I had a conversation with Phil the other day, last week actually, and he asked me to This is random, but he asked me to, in Avelia, hold on, let's see if I can go there. But in the tavern, you've got, at a certain time of day, you've got some music that plays that are meant to be from a bardic source. So he asked me to do a few things to kind of start pointing at that. Music on? So you guys have to imagine that, like, there's going to be more ambient NPC life in here. And imagine a couple of bards playing this song. But I want to turn this up on my end. Of the ash breather, did you hear that? Be aware of the ash breather. Sky Urban. Woo! Oh man, it's funny. Every time the doors close, it's like 15,000 doors all like closing and opening and rattling. I love that you can kind of hear it muffled from the outside too. He's gonna have it working better. He was telling me that they're working on right now, like really having that threshold audio dialed in where you can like hear it muffled on the outside, but then when you open the door, it actually kind of like rolls out like you would expect. It's gonna be really sick. Very sick. And we also talked about the fact that, you know, bards are storytellers. They're, you know, excellent musicians, excellent storytellers, and it's going to be really good to have lots of different kind of voices, right? So like you would, you know, that was kind of some rough and hardy, you know, voices and singing, which absolutely there would be, you know, bards of that nature, but there needs to be bards that also have, you know, beautiful voices and elven bards and, you know, various things where you really can feel the difference between like a human bard and an elven bard and things like that. So it's gonna be really cool. But having songs that like really represent parts of the world and actual in-world events and people and places and stuff is going to be so good. So good. It's not in yet, Dougbug. And that song that we just heard only happens at a certain time of day, so you know you won't always hear it. Okay. Sortrius, that's where we were. Sortrius. Any plans for additional combat music? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Yes, indeed. Combat music. What's wrong with the combat music right now, by the way? Like, is it? I feel like it hasn't really been working for me that well. And by that well, I mean at all. Yeah. Remember we did a little bit, just a few little tweaks on the manor. Oh, I know why. Come on now. It wanted to play. It started playing. Yeah, there's something going on with combat music. But different arrangements, different compositions for combat music as we move along would be a good thing, so we don't get too tired of hearing the same thing. Even though I know they're already, doing some tweaks with, depending on the level of the NPC that you're fighting. Yep. Okay. Serious. Okay. There goes Dev. It's probably my patch, actually, as you said, so it'll be interesting to see once this comes back up if our animations are different. Let's see. Any plans for another pass on the existing environment of graphics now that you have more funding, or is it considered good enough? I'm gonna hide this real quick. I gotta probably hold on. Is it considered good enough? Okay, so the answer is, I mean, I guess to some degree, yes and no. If you were not on the stream earlier, by the way, Butt Chunder, I don't think I said thank you for the tier 1. Thank you so much. And the 12 months of support. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate that. Thank you. If you were on the stream earlier, actually gave Kyle a call and was asking him about, for example, like shadows and shadow casting lights. So part of the answer being, yes, we will be doing more passes, is to say there are still things missing like that. So shaders, we still have, quite a few more shaders coming into the game that are going to do some really cool visual things. with wind and with weather and leaves falling and things like that. We still have, just ongoing lighting tweaks and improvements. We've got things like shadow casting lights coming back in soon, and an improved flicker light shader that's going to add that kind of like depth back in places where you have a lot of light getting thrown around, campfires, torches, whatnot. Animation polish is ongoing. Visual effect polish and just additional VFX and things like that is ongoing. So, I mean, the answer is absolutely yes when it comes to just generally continuing to polish and improve the game's aesthetic while balancing that with its performance. No, in the sense that there's not going to be another like grand overhaul of anything, to the in terms of like the art style and things of that nature. We're locked in. We're too locked in on getting the game to launch to entertain any kind of like major grand overhaul of anything like that at this stage. So it's all about really just kind of polishing and buttoning up what we've got, making sure it runs as good as it can run, and that it looks as good as it can look. So yeah. Yep. And I'm telling you, like, it's grown on me a lot. Like, I mean, art styles are hard. They're so hard. They're very, very difficult to get right and get consistent and make sure it, holds up. But ours has really, really been growing on me a lot. And definitely improving. Okay. Will we ever be able to keybind items, clickies, illusions, or perhaps have a slot we can activate them from, perhaps, or just curious? Yep. Yeah, that's still the plan. Sorry, I want to check my monks real quick after that build. Open against hope here. And Finn, by the way, this is the only hairstyle that's relevant. This is an incredible hairstyle. Okay, they're still not... That is so perplexing to me. Like, that's such a... I don't know. That's such like an easy thing. And I've done it on several NPCs in the zone through the same method. So I'm going to be really curious to figure out what's going on there. All right, let's get ready to lock in on Trius here. Always love watching other game developers work. Gives me ideas and motivation for my own game. Nice. Cool, Carrots. Yeah, well, you're welcome anytime. And I am glad to hear and hope it continues to be a motivation to you. That's awesome. We're about to work on Trius right now. Trius is in our sights. And Trius is important, guys, because Trius, the inspiration for Trius for me was... Leisha Novashine, if you remember Leisha Novashine from North Kanos, the guy that would walk around and kind of like shout out about, the corruption and the plague, like Bertoxulus or whatever, and was kind of like yelling at people to, join Rod Set Knife, and it was really cool. It always like stuck with me. So Sir Trius is meant to be kind of that kind of character, so we need to work on him a little bit. And he's a paladin, and so part of the verisimilitude here is how do humans talk, how do paladins talk, and then how do paladins that are on the level of Sir Trius talk, right? Because Sir Trius is not he's known as Sir Trius the Unyielding for a reason. He has a title, he has a name, he's known. So okay. What am I doing? My brain short-circuited there. Okay. Now we go back into Thronefest. Have it loaded. Now. Any chance for an art contest for artists in the community to have the opportunity to have an asset in the game? That'd be really cool. There are no, like, there's no definite plans for that at the moment, but that would be really cool. That's something that might be good to post in Discord or something, just kind of see if you can get the ball rolling. Let's check out his routine first, see why he's getting off path. If you're adding things like falling leaves, does this lend itself towards Terminus actually getting the inclusion of seasons? So we'll even see snowfall in winter in more areas, or even a snowless Hangor or southern edges of Hangor where the climate is less extreme. I mean, I don't want to rule it out. But the more like complex or the more precise or authentic we get with it, the harder it's going to be to do, and the more likely I would be to say we probably won't. If it's something that's just like, if we have to account, for example, for a place like Hangor having like a full melt, or even adjusting Hangor's like borders or, you know, whatever like that, then it gets more complicated versus like even things like accumulation is complicated. So if we go into a season in Thronefast and it starts snowing, is the expectation going to be that the ground would be covered in snow? Now, it's possible, and I think perhaps more doable to more have kind of like a baked out like winter version of a zone, autumn, fall version of a zone, and then a, you know, spring, summer version of a zone in time. Like, I mean, like, that would be definitely a down the road thing to introduce seasons to the game. It could be done through shaders, but I don't really know how involved that is. So it's a good question. I would love to see seasons, but I'm also like, I don't know how realistic it is, to be honest. So what kind of bugs me about Sertrius is he's definitely walking off the path, but he's not supposed to do that. As you can tell, his routine is pretty pathy. I might throw down a couple more waypoints just to test that and see if we can get him. Yeah, let's do that. To be honest, I don't really love where I laid these lines down either. I had him walking down to I guess that's okay. Here. Oh my goodness, Unity. Alright, so we're gonna have him cut back up to the road here a little bit more cleanly. Okay. Let's shorten some of these. Let's just see how that goes. Yeah. Oh, certainly have. They certainly have gotten better. Oh, the coding for time tracking and things like that for seasons absolutely is already accounted for. That's already happening. It's absolutely just the believable representation of changing seasons that would be the difficult part, for sure. For sure. Okay, so we are going to start by giving Trius... Here's what we'll do. We're going to add a switch class. So this is going to allow us to track when a player enters the range of Sir Trius. Sir Trius is going to be able to check for this entity type. We could do race, we could do class, we could do a few other things, but for this we're going to check for class. And we're actually going to do 3 separate things here. We're going to... So on player enter range, this is where we handle our chat box. This is where you see the little chat box appear over the NPC's head, and this is for like kind of dialogue and passing, but it can also be used for overheard dialogue, right? And the way that that's displayed in game is if it's truly overheard dialogue, meaning they're not talking directly to you, they're talking to themselves, or maybe they're talking to somebody else. That's going to be your italicized text, and it's going to have the ellipsis at the front and at the end. That's kind of the consistent form to communicate you are overhearing this, or you're hearing something that's not being spoken directly to you. And then if it's just normal, then they are speaking directly to you, but it's more just kind of like in passing dialogue. That's what we do here. And we're actually going to set up something for, we'll have our default. We'll have a default for everything, except for we're going to have a specific path for Paladin and maybe Clerics. Don't know yet. But definitely a specific path for Paladin, and then we're going to have a specific path if you are evil. Especially Necromancer, because we all know how Paladins feel about undead. What game are you working on? This is Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. This is a MMORPG in development, and we are working on some narrative design and using some of our tools to get NPCs to interact with players and develop their dialogue and things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a weighted randomize, and let's give ourselves at least a couple of options for each. We're going to do a weighted randomize for the default bucket. We're going to have one dedicated to... You know, we might, just to keep it interesting, we might actually handle it like this. And then we'll have one for the Paladin as well. That's a specific line. I like that. So now what happens when you enter Trius's range, it's going to check to see what class you are, and then that's going to flow into essentially a weighted randomizer or an RNG node, and that's going to choose between a couple of different things that he could say. So this will feed into... Just kind of move this. I'm not worrying too much about how these things are laid out. It's going to get messy. We'll clean it up. That's okay. So we'll have... And we don't want them saying something every time, at least for just passerbys. We'll probably have them say something every time if it's an evil class, because they'd be more likely to actually respond to that if they saw it. So typically what we'll do there is just have we'll just have an empty one. So we've got 33% chance they'll say this, 33% chance they'll say this, and then 33% chance that they won't say anything at all. to keep it simple for now, I'm just gonna experiment with a single thing for those, and then we'll start building out the paladin one, because Trius is would be a great source for like some interesting paladin related dynamics. So we'll leave that a little more open. All right. Okay, let's consult our lore. This is our Dire Lord, so we'll do something like... Not overthinking it right now. Number one rule of narrative writing, just writing in general, don't overthink it. Get paint on the canvas, right? Get something on the wall. And then, you know? This is to the paladin. Yeah, well, this is just a really nice visual kind of tool that allows like a designer to code without coding, you know? It's a nice little visual medium between the two. Yeah, Rob was the one initially that built out pretty much the majority of this tool. Again, we're not overthinking anything. We're just getting paint on the canvas. Right? One sec, guys. All right. It's very similar to how Salesforce handles flows. Interesting. Interesting. Now, the other thing I want to try... Actually, I want to try this as a shout. Like, he's really angry when a necromancer comes around. Actually, let's do this. We're gonna call him by name. I think that name command will work in the shout framework. If not, we'll have to fix it. But we're gonna name shame. Okay. Yeah, this might end up being a little weird if we do it like this, but we're gonna try it anyway. Okay. Good. Oh, we also need to update his visuals. He's like... What do we have? Maybe we don't. Oh no, he's good. Okay. He good. Yeah, let's test it and see. We got to figure out when the right time is to turn faction death back on. Oh, so Trius. Yeah, that's going to be part of the keys, is making sure that we have a good place for them to go. That's more than just a little pocket. Like Broken Maw might be the time to do it. Indeed. So Trius. I actually need to come in as a necromancer though to test this. Well said. Well said. Someone told me it's your birthday. It is. It's not my birthday today. Today is not my birthday day, Hawk, but thank you. Thank you. What we do? Oh yeah. Make a necro. Let's go addle Sir Trius. A tree walked into a bar and met another tree. He said, "Want to go back to my place and get naughty?" Thank you, Dayhawk. This character exudes necromancy. Pained. literally exuding. It's not my birthday. It's not my birthday. Oh. But thank you, Price. If it had been my birthday, I would appreciate it. These braziers are not throwing lights. Interesting. Very. I think I know why. Happy Monday to you as well, Promise. Thank you. Just a little taste, just a little taste here. Hold on, hold on. Ooh, I think I missed these. It was already done though. We'll just let that one go. All right, let's go mess with Sir Trius. Hey, how you doing, Art? Say, you're the one who ran up the steps of the Seville Manor. Excuse me? You got me mistaken. Quite mistaken. SETI! Oh, Trius! Hold up, bud. What are you gonna do? He did it! And he said my name. Nice. And I didn't put a space after that. Yes, I did. But since it's shout... Ah, okay, yeah. So since it's shout, it really all needs to be in line. Okay. Good to know. But cool. Nice. So we can flower that up a little bit, make it a little bit more they need to pause their walk. They do. Do we have a way to do that? I know we used to do that like in code. I'm wondering if we have a way to invoke that. That's not what we want. We could do a set status, but I feel like that's just not a clean way to do it. It's not clean. Huh. Actually, I wonder if we made him... I wonder if we made him do an emote action, if that would be enough to at least interrupt his routine. Let's try it. Yo, Jay Rickardson, thank you so much for the tier 1, my friend. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Really appreciate that. Sometimes as I'm playing, I don't know if an NPC is saying something to me because of my class race, or it's just what they say to everyone. Do you think it could be more immersive to have the NPC drop a hint in their text of what they are saying is due to my race class? I do. I've actually, with several of these, that's why it may seem... Well, I don't know. I was just thinking earlier when I put Paladin in the name, or in the text that Prius was saying, I was wondering if some of you were like, doesn't make sense that he's always, you know, saying Paladin or whatever, but the point is exactly that, to make it easier to know, like, whether they use your name. Okay, let's see if he does it. Sometimes the order of these matters. But yes, the answer is yes. Yes. I think we should do. Die like a motherless dog. That's pretty intense. Just wondering if there's Aussie servers. We've done a lot of consolidation, so I do believe that there's at least one server that's meant for you guys, but the Oceanic. Did we, guys, I'm so bad. Like, I don't even remember if we merged the Oceanic server or not. We still have an EU server. Did we merge the Oceanic into the EU? Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see if the order was the culprit. It was. It was. Yes. Nice. Now, let's make things a bit more personal and start sewing some in our front. Let's just cut it here. Necromancy has no place in Abelia. Oh yeah, it all has to be online. I'm getting stuck in the wordsmithing zone. I want to get so overly locked in here. But basically I want to say, like, necromancy has no place in Avelia. Nay, the world. It's raised. Kind of. Yeah. Cleansed. Purged or cleansed? Kind of like cleansed. Purged is good too, though. Cool. And then the cool thing about this is we can add a flag here and say, okay, like, if if you've had this interaction with Trius as a necromancer, you can have a special flag on you that then you carry with you forever. And we can, you know, key off of that whenever we want. Oh, look at that, another patch. Another patch. Maybe this is the patch that's bringing my animations. Huh? You think so? Maybe. Yo, Maghill, Joppa, I'm finally dropping in. I really appreciate the... Dude, thank you so much. Thank you, man. Messages like that, they go a long way. They go a really long way. So thank you for sharing that. My goodness, my throat. Here we go. I'm gonna mute. Okay. Think that's better? Capitalize righteous. Why do I need to capitalize righteous? It's not saying the righteous. It just says all that is righteous. All right, hide screen real quick. Let me check the patch. Hold. Ooh, okay. Okay. That's a biggie. That's awesome. Oh, yes. When Trius is referring to righteous, he's referring to the... So paladins were former clerics. In clerics, the clerical order, particularly in the human realm, relates directly to Coursera. And Coursera is kind of the you know, similar to like a Rodset knife in EQ. Coursera is righteousness and valor and peace and purity and piety and these types of things. And but the paladin is kind of like become this unhinged, vindictive crusader and has kind of cast off like the constraints of the cleric order and a lot of the I guess the doctrines of peace and kind of the straight up Corsairian way to take things into their own hands and deal out the wrath and the judgment. But they're not breaking from that righteous path in the sense that they are straight up like against, you know, undead and profane and corrupted presence, and like they've just dialed it up to 11. So, is he an alien? I don't think so. I think Trius is came with the rest of the humans, or as part of the line of the humans that have come. Trius isn't, you know, 500 something years old. I still don't understand the logic behind the capitalization, because it's not personifying righteousness. It's not making righteous into a proper noun. It's referring to the category of things that the paladin believes to be righteous. You are an affront to all that is righteous. Not all who are righteous, and even if it were all who are righteous, you're still talking about like the adjective. You didn't do the emote though. Yeah. This is one of those a little janky. It's a little bit janky. I'm assuming I'm getting this to repeat every time I come in range too, which is another part of the jankiness. Yeah. Yeah. That might get a little old. That might get a little old. So we'll probably figure out a different way to handle that. Are you guys animating yet? Nope. Oh yeah, sorry. This is what I was referring to, the spam. We don't want that. We do not want that. So I think what we'll do instead of the shout node is we'll go back to... We'll figure out what to do with that later. Okay. Now, let's see if we've got... I'm gonna need to tease out some of the lore here to really get into some of our dialogue options. So, man, I'm bummed that we couldn't get this to work better. Okay. By the light of the moon. What, you don't want Rigarius yells, citizens of Dalaran. Dalaran, raise your eyes to the skies and observe. By the light of the moon. By the light of the moon. No, I really don't want that. I really do not want that. All right, one more test here, and then we're gonna do. Let's jump to. I want to focus more with you guys on stream. I want to focus less on like really working out the text because I want, you know, that to be part of the gameplay. I want to focus more on like the cool stuff I wanted to do with the monks. So I'm just kind of like throwing me off here. Cool. Okay. That works. That's a lot of text, though. That's a lot of text for a little hard to read. That's fine for now. See if that animation stops him, does it? 30-second cooldown. Gotta figure out why he's not repeating his action either. It's kind of weird. What if I spawn one of those disciples? Man. Oh, man. Ooh, here's another one. Yeah, these like lifeless warriors just standing. Okay. Here we go. Here's our chance, guys. Okay. We're gonna get this to work, okay? It's going to work. I'm just gonna do it with one this time though before I do both. Just quickly. Are you actually... That's kind of spooky. I don't really want to mess with that. Don't want to mess with that. Something's up though. Like, you see how this is bold? This text is bold, and all the other text is non-bolded. In Unity, when text is bold, that means that it's changed or it's like dirtied. It hasn't been saved or like fully applied. And so if we go to... Okay, but hers is working and it's doing the same thing. Okay, so now let's actually assign the animations we want here. So for all the idols, the combat and the normal idol, we're going with... We're going to give weapons to these as well, but we're going to go with... No. No. We've got the combat idol. Okay, this is what we need right here. Boop. Boop. Sorry about that. Thankfully, I caught my mistake I was in the middle of making there. Got distracted. All right, here we go. Here we go. Yep. Female. And then through the idle breaks, we can do just like a 5 to 10 second here. Okay. I think that's everything. So let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Hey, what's up, Jesper? Is the 6th group member still free when it comes to XP? It is. Should add a druid near a path somewhere, and if you befriend them by completing a quest, they buff you with Sao anytime you happen to run by. That's not too far off from something that I was thinking through over the weekend. Yeah. I mean, not quite that easy, simple, cut and dry, but definitely be cool. Hey, look at that. Look at that. So, I mean, obviously she needs some gear. Hold on. Let's do... that, and then yo, BA, thank you so much for the Prime, and Onyo6, thank you so much for the Prime. Really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you for the 2 months of support, Onyo6. That's awesome. Game seems to look better than when I last saw it. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely working on it. Working on, you know, making sure that it's looking better and better and playing better and better. So I'm glad to hear that you're seeing that. That's cool. Now, would you look at that, guys? Look at that. What is going on with this? What is it using as a fallback? I don't understand. I mean, what if I just... It's crazy. I mean, it was working. It was working, and then I changed the, bump up the rate of that anyway. I did it, but she was actually had the right combat idle animation as well, like where she was in her like combat fighting stance. But then as soon as I gave her weapons, she stopped doing it, which doesn't make any sense. Yeah, she needs to scoot up a little bit to the target. I agree. See, look at that. Now, if I remove these weapons, let's see if that gets her back to, yeah. Sorry, I missed your messages, Flange. That would be funny if he corrects the paladin, like comment on his garb being unkept or needing adjustment. I think it would make more sense if he calls the paladin by name and refers to necromancers as some derogatory term. Yeah, agreed. It'd be cool if the necromancer is not liked by most and is KOS to some factions. It would be cool if there wasn't a get undead faction and necros are naturally attuned and could go there as a safe haven. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that idea. So you see that? You see she's using the animation now. She's standing in her combat idle. But if I try to give her a sword, hey Joppa, will the spring update have the new racial abilities for elves that are on the main site? No, we're not going to be having racials come in by spring. Not yet. Yeah, she's just busted. Put a weapon in her hand, she just busted. Just trying to understand what that would be. We'll definitely scoot her up towards the target. But, I mean, the good news is this. The good news is we at least have a data point there. So I can go to Kyle and say, hey, I set this up and without any weapons equipped, functions like this, with weapons equipped. Yeah. The weird thing, though, is like with the monk NPCs, they don't have weapons equipped. So it's like with this NPC, not having weapons equipped makes it work. With the monks, not having weapons equipped, I guess maybe breaks it. Anyway, we'll figure it out. All right, what else do we want to talk about? Because we're... Yeah, well, the monk's doing the same thing, just inverted, maybe. I mean, maybe the monks... Like, if I gave monks hand-to-hand... Let's see. Let's do... We'll just do one. Give them weapons. Let's see if that does anything. Because it may be the opposite problem, where, like, the monks need weapons. But none of it makes sense. Like, whatever is going on, something's wrong. It should not be as it appears to be. Guys, once we check this, I'm probably going to need to wrap it for today, because I need to eat, and then we've got to do some pretty deep summoner, deep dive summonering. Yeah, no, that didn't do anything. They're all still just absolutely, completely uninterested in, like, animating in any way, shape, or form. That's such an interesting thing. Very interesting. Okay. They don't need weapon skill. They don't, because they're not actually attacking. They're just, it's more just about animating. They should be idle animating with a combat idle. So how NPCs normally, like my character right now this is like an idle loop. I made those NPCs for their idle loop to be the combat stance, so that they would just always be in that stance when they're idling. And again, it's like, you know, there's several examples of NPCs that are working just fine. Like Dagger Clay is set up that way. This is his idle, and it's perfect. He just loops. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. And then Eldarian is the same. Assuming I didn't break it. Yeah, she's looping she's in that stealthed looping idle. And there's a couple more that are like sitting and things like that. So it's basically like setting up a model that their only idle stance is their combat stance. So regardless of what they're doing, whether they have weapons equipped, whether they're in or out of combat, like regardless of what they're doing, they should just always be in a combat stance. But it's yeah, it's not working. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. Next time we meet, guys, next time we're together, you'll see it. You'll see it. So yeah, we got Summoner. Really, really big changes coming up for the Summoner. Really excited about those. Did some review. What I need to do is actually go in and do a little bit of some hands-on review of Nightfall Crypt, so that when I meet with Combo tomorrow, if there's any additional feedback I have, I'll be ready. I mean, he's got it mostly covered, so it's shaping up so nicely. Really excited about that place. He and Jim are doing an excellent job of that. But yeah, Summoner on the docket tonight. Going to be mowing through the rest of our list. Should be able to get that done tonight, and then I hope I can start on AVP NPCs tomorrow. Really loving the boost to AG, the new drops, the sweet graveyard stuff. Awesome job. Nice. Hey, it's only going up from here, guys. Only going up from here. From here. For here. From here. Trying to think if there's anything else. I really need to get some playtime in back on the characters, right? We'll see. Maybe come Wednesday, we'll try to do half and half. And then it'd be awesome to be able to do a bonus, just like play stream this week. We'll see. Playing it by ear, as always. As always. Will the Spring White be the last one? There will definitely be a wipe when we launch 1.0. When the game fully officially launches at 1.0, we will wipe. Whether or not this wipe in the spring will be the only other one is TBD. Yeah. And guys, keep in mind too, like, most of the work is for you to experience when you get in game. You know, as always, we're just touching on the tip of the iceberg. But I mean, be ready for that feedback, right? Like, once all this stuff rolls in, you guys are able to play. You gotta let us know how it feels. And again, the goal here, it's less about quests. It's less about, like, you know, go start A, go to point B, turn it in, get a reward. This is all about, like, world building. This is about that big verisimilitude world. Like, are you feeling more connected and engaged with the world around you? You can only get so much of a feel from it watching a stream like this. It's really going to come down to when the time comes, get in, play it, experiencing these things, and then give the feedback. And we'll keep going down it in. And hopefully, like I said, Thrown Fast and AVP both will have a pretty healthy helping of, you know, getting it more where it is intended to be. So there should be a lot to give feedback on. Is it fun? Exactly. Is it fun? Do you feel like you're getting to know this world better? The character, your relationship to other, you know, denizens in the world, all that stuff. You guys know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. And hopefully, also, getting some passes in on some of the earlier class quests and kind of working through those, and kind of taking those a little bit further along. Like, I haven't showed you anything about the shaman stuff today, right? Like, there's quite a bit of cool stuff in there that you know, will be in addition to, like, the quests themselves, like really kind of getting to know more of what it means to be a shaman and things like that. So anyway, I'm probably gonna wrap it for there. Hey Joppa, has anyone explained that there's a spot on the map, on the gamer map, that has constant zoning back to back? Yes, there are a couple places like that we're aware of for sure. Free Holford, you may have asked after I said what I said, so I'll repeat it just in case, and that is the only other guaranteed wipe, aside from the one we're doing in the spring, is the one coming at 1.0 launch. We will wipe at 1.0 launch. So we have the wipe in the spring, and then we have the wipe when we launch 1.0. Whether or not there will be any wipes in between those two is still TBD. It's just TBD. So yeah. Wait a second, Jesper. Hold on, I gotta read this. Process this. Your horse ran off because you released it by mistake with your Wyvern Heart and Black Tear Idol. And ever since, you can't get new ones because the game thinks you still have them, because I'm assuming you put them in... You put a saddlebag on the horse that you hadn't registered yet and put those items into the saddlebag and then released it. And now those items are, like, still treated as if you have them, but they're, like, lost in the ether. Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's something we need to fix. Woo. Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad to know that so that we can get that fixed. Just a quick note. That's a spooky one right there. That is a spooky one. If you put saddlebags on a mount before it's registered and put items in the saddlebag and then the mount is released. You will lose the items, but the game will still count you as having them, and if they are unique, you will be unable to loot. Acquire replacements. Okay. Right. Yeah. It's not, I'm not making a note of it as if it's something to fix. It's more that, like, it just, yeah, you shouldn't be able to put a saddle because you don't even have a saddle. So I captured it in raving detail. I'm not sure why, but ultimately what we just need to do is make sure that if you don't have a saddle, you can't put saddlebags on it. So. See, Altric, the character wipe is happening in the spring. We haven't announced an official, like, exact date for it yet, but it'll be in the spring. And the XP rate, with a little bit of some tweaking and some, like, curve adjustments and whatnot, you know, especially in, like, the lowest levels, I think it'll end up feeling somewhat similar to the way that it does now. Like, since the XP bonus, but it'll be more based on the level of the thing that you're fighting, and I think it'll be a little bit cleaner in regards to, like, how much experience you get, whether you're solo or, you know, in a 2-man, 3-man, or full group. A lot of it will be about with the longer TTK, making sure that the experience gain feels commensurate with that. But, you know, I think what we have now is a reasonable ballpark, again, with the goal of, like, we want you to feel the leveling more of, like, the I guess what you would call, like, the grind of leveling. You want to feel that more when you get kind of towards the end of your leveling journey, instead of, like, right now where you feel it at, like, level 20, and then it just, you know, keeps going crazy from there. It's more like once you get into the mid high 30s, 40, low 40s, like, that's when it should start to kind of really kick in, and you got to really push for those last few levels. So yeah, that's my response without getting into, like, the specifics just yet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right, Glor. That's right. But we do need to figure out what's causing a unique item to get lost in the ether, yeah. Again, Ricky, that's exactly right. We need to figure out what's causing that, because there could be some other, like, knock-on effects or situations where we want to avoid that. Arcanus Ivy, I am sorry. I think I missed your Prime sub. Thank you so much. And with 12 months of support on top of that. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Awesome stream. Thank you for chilling and kind of seeing some of these things take shape. I wish there had been more that functioned well, so we could have kind of gotten in a groove and gotten some more of that done. We're going to figure it out. But we did get those rocks fixed in AVP, which is awesome. Got to show you guys, you know, some updates of what we did last week. Just the tip of the iceberg on this stuff, of course. We looked at the new Gloom volumes. We got to chat with Kyle a little bit about the shadow casting and that coming back. I'm hopeful soon that we'll be able to start talking a little bit more detail about some of the stuff that you guys are really excited to talk about, things like Mastery, things like the Summoner update. So hopefully we'll be able to start diving into some of that soonish, and maybe even do some, like, Summoner dev stuff
on stream. I think that'd be an awesome stream to do. So hopefully we'll be there soon. I'll keep you posted. But yeah, I just want to say again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the support. If you, yeah, thank you. Just let me play. If you don't mind and you think about it, any likes and comments on the YouTube stream in particular is helpful, just to get it in front of more eyes and remind people, hey, Joppa's streaming, I should watch it. But other than that, guys, I'm going to wrap up for tonight. I'll be back with you again for sure on Wednesday. And we'll keep on trucking. Have a lot more to show by then. And until then, my friends, have an awesome rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is. And I will look very forward to seeing you again on Wednesday of this week. Until then, adios, onward and upward. See you then.